Welcome to Surface Level Questions, the silent trust killers. Today we're going to uncover how staying at the surface prevents you from earning trust, building clarity, and moving the client relationship forward. Asking the right questions in the right way is one of the most powerful skills an advisor can develop. You'll learn how to move from basic data collection to deep emotional connection by asking layered, curiosity-driven questions. So let's dive in. The problem with surface level questions: they sound scripted, not curious. So when we rely on surface level questions like how much do you make or when do you want to retire, we miss the emotional drivers behind those facts. Those questions feel transactional, not transformational. They trigger resistance or vague answers. Instead of connection, they actually create distance. And you get to what happens is you miss emotional depth. If your questions could be asked by a form, you're not having a conversation. So, how do you know when you're staying too shallow? Let's look at the signs. If you find yourself doing most of the talking or bouncing between short answers, chances are you're operating at a surface level. So, yes or no answers dominate the conversation. Prospects don't elaborate or open up. So ask yourself, are you listening to understand or just checking boxes? Advisors who build trust slow down and go deeper. Who's doing most of the talking here? You feel like you're running through a checklist and not actually having a conversation. So think like a therapist. Your role is to guide a prospect to self-discovery, past, present, and future state. So what should you ask instead? Well, let's go deeper with layered questions. Follow-ups that start with what else or how so. For example, if somebody says, I want to retire earlier, you could say, what does early retirement look like for you? Or why is that important to you? How would it make you feel to know you're on track for that ideal retirement? And then, of course, once again, use the prospect's language to keep them talking. Use their words to go deeper. And don't move on until you've uncovered an emotion. You need to explore the implications and feelings. So, talking about exploration, let's explore a simple framework to stay out of the shallow end. The ARC framework: ask, restate, confirm. This helps you explore deeper layers without overwhelming your prospect. So not just ask questions, ask open-ended questions, right? Ask them and then restate their words with emotional intent. Restate what you heard for confirmation. Example, you mentioned you worry about market drops. Just so I understand, it sounds like stability is more important than growth right now, right? So confirm the accuracy of their statements as well and invite elaboration on it. This shows like you care and builds safety. Language that matters. Well, certain things are going to move you closer to getting to that emotional trigger and some far away. So words that invite depth. These phrases tend to soften the ask and invite openness. Out of curiosity, just out of curiosity, I'm curious, right? These are all magic phrases that disarm. So try out of curiosity, what motivated you to book this call now or agree to have this discovery call? It gives permission and it feels natural. Use this to break past the surface. When you get an answer that really you haven't uncovered an emotional aspect of it, simple phrases: tell me more about that. Or would it be ridiculous if we explored that further, or we came up with a plan that addressed that on its own? Permission based. I hope you're getting the theme here, that a lot of this is about permission, because when you're asking for feedback and permission, it is creating a collaborative atmosphere. And that is really the goal with all of these interactions here. Great questions create conversations. So let's look at what that sounds like. This isn't about changing necessarily what you ask, it's how and why you ask it. So, turn routine fact finding into emotional connection. People share when they feel like you're interested, not just collecting data. So avoid yes or no questions at all costs when trying to explore and discover what is important to a prospect. So, surface question, when do you plan to retire? A deep question is, why is retiring early important to you right now? Surface level question, do you have a will? Deep question is, how would you want things handled for your family if something happened tomorrow? This is on par with that just imagine. Imagine what it is that you want and why, and how does that make you feel? Want to level up? Here's how. Tips for going even deeper. Embrace silence after questions. Silence can be powerful. When you pause, prospects think and reveal more. Mirroring their words with a slight upward inflection encourages them to elaborate. So, what that means is basically repeating back their words with a question mark at the end, right? Mirror key words with an upward tone. Somebody says, I want to retire a little bit earlier. You want to retire a little bit earlier? And let them talk. Your mindset here should be help me understand. Stay present. Keep a curiosity mindset. And what if they resist? That's going to happen sometimes. Resistance equals opportunity. If someone pulls back, it's not a dead end. Don't push. Pivot. Acknowledge the hesitation, right? It's a moment to re-engage. You could say, sounds like now might not be the time to have this conversation. What would need to be true for this to be helpful? Seems like I've hit a nerve. Do I have that right? Right? So use reframing questions like, what would need to happen for this to feel worth it, or that this is the right time? Oftentimes, the prospect is going to convince themselves or talk themselves into some sense of moving forward and not hesitating when they really have no logical reason to hold off. Anyway, this signals respect and gives them power, or they feel empowered. So let's bring it all together. Use this quick checklist to evaluate your discovery depth. If you walk away with a clear emotional anchor and they did most of the talking, you're on the right track. Real discovery equals real differentiation. Did I uncover a personal what and why? Did they speak 70% of the time? Did I learn something they haven't told another advisor? Now you're on the right track, because if you ask them something another advisor hasn't asked them, you are now setting yourself apart. So let's wrap this up. To stand out and serve better, you need to move beyond that checklist. Surface level questions kill momentum. Layered questions, curious phrasing, and frameworks like ARC will help you get to what really matters. It's not about the perfect question. It's about being present, curious, and emotionally tuned in. So the ARC method and curiosity unlock emotional clarity. Don't forget, this course comes with a full resource library. In addition to these worksheets, head to the classroom section where you'll find guides, templates, and scripts. Use these tools. They're designed to make your job easier and your results stronger. Let's keep building from here.